All right, everyone good to go? Yeah, sorry.
Mic check. Mic
Check,
check.
check. We are good to
Sound.
go.
Thought that was your
Turn that
stomach for a
up.
second.
I know. And you are listening, and we welcome you to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm the host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. The other fucking guy's here with me, making it all happen. The one that handles all the tech support and pushes all the buttons. Leo, good morning to you.
Good morning,
It's
Troy.
Friday, brother.
A lovely Friday, man. I love a good Friday. How you been
Yes.
doing?
I've been good.
How's the Friday morning treating you?
Friday morning is good. Like we drove. I know it's crazy, but we drove 50 minutes to Scottsdale last night for dinner, and not at a fancy restaurant, but at this place called Carson's Grill. It's a very small place, and you usually have to wait a little bit because it's so small. But the food there, I know I've mentioned it before, the food there that they throw out of this tiny kitchen, and I'm talking about tiny, it's like as big as a closet. It's so small. They just do a phenomenal job. I had a little hunger for some wings,
Hell yeah.
and I have never, ever, ever, ever gotten bad wings there. And it was there wasn't, they didn't put it in any kind of breading, but the skin of the chicken, they just make it so fucking crispy. Like it's every time it's super crispy, yet inside it's always juicy. Not one time have I bitten in to a dry chicken wing. And you're just like, how do they get the outside that crispy while doing
Yeah.
keeping it so that I don't know. And then they put this dry rub on it. So I do get the buffalo sauce on it, but I don't have them put the buffalo sauce on it.
Yeah.
I just kind of dip in the buffalo sauce so I can kind of get both that dry rub and that. But shout
Mhm.
out to Carson's. If you're ever in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, check out Carson's Grill. It's excellent. I can't say enough about them and their staff and how well they take care of you there. It's just it was worth the drive. It's worth the drive to drive 50 minutes for chicken wings. It is. Well, and I also stopped in at Night Rider Jewelry. Like they clean the stuff you buy there. You could take it and
Yeah.
get it cleaned. And so I had this clean. This looks sharp, almost brand new, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like bam.
It's hurting my eyes.
Yeah, it's
Just
pretty good.
Diamonds
So
dancing.
yeah, I'm really super pleased how they cleaned that up. And another piece I had from them, I had to refrain myself to make sure that I didn't. I had to refrain myself to make sure I didn't spend more money there last night, and I walked out and I didn't. I picked up my stuff, and that was good. Maybe another time, but it is one of my favorite because, like, the bracelet I'm wearing today. This people mistake this bracelet all the time. If I'm near,
I
if
can't
I'm
see your cups in the way.
yeah,
I
I'm
can't.
sorry.
Oh, you're good. Oh,
It,
okay.
people think it's a David Yurman, which is a
Yeah.
high end brand.
I've heard that
And
name.
the difference is the clasp. The David Yurman doesn't have this type of clasp. And yeah, but he gets mistaken for that all along. So
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
no, that's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I'm not too well versed in the
yeah,
jewelry game.
it'd be like if somebody compared something to, thought, well, man, that looks like a Mercedes, and it wasn't a Mercedes.
Okay.
You know,
Well, shit, yeah. I mean, if you want it
Kinda.
to be a Mercedes, then yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Mercedes.
It's a Mercedes of that. So yeah, I did have something weird happen yesterday, though, and Mike also joined us on the show to share and go back and forth with me a little bit here. So, Mike, something really crazy happened yesterday
Let's hear it.
in the
In the
it
homeland?
was, yeah, it was in Queen Creek. It was probably around 4 o'clock or so. I was driving towards Rittenhouse from more of the center of Queen Creek. Okay. And it's 2 lanes each way,
Mhm.
and there's barrier in the middle. And as I'm going towards the light that it will be Rittenhouse that I'll be taking, all of a sudden I hear this loudest something up there. Okay. All of a sudden I hit this loudest crash. I mean, it was boom, like hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over, and it's directly in line with me to my left, a smaller car that hit one of those big metal electrical poles.
Oh, shit.
And this isn't like, hitting any pole is not good, but, we used to have those old wooden poles and stuff.
Yeah.
This is a big,
Yeah.
giant metal pole,
not
and they're
coming down.
bigger at the bottom than the top. They're bigger than what
that
those poles
reason.
used to be. And I tell you what, all the airbags deployed.
Oh, total.
So all you can't even see the person inside.
Yep.
They're trapped inside these airbags, and then you have the cloud of stuff from the airbags kind of going out the windows or whatever.
Dust and everything.
And so I didn't see any other cars around it whatsoever. No idea what made this car basically drive into this pole.
Yeah.
So I was very close to the light. I turned around at the light and pulled up behind the vehicle, and somebody else had been walking over and was already at the car door. And this young black kid crawls out, because, like, if I got there, I'm going to be like, dude, you want to stay where you are. Who knows what kind of injury you just sustained? Because
Definitely concussion.
I'm
sure.
100% sure
Yeah.
that I can tell you that in a minute that he had a concussion. But bleeding from his face.
Yikes.
And then he got back in the car to get his slide that he was wearing. He was wearing,
Oh, like his flip-flops? Or
flip-flops.
Yeah.
Okay. The slide type
Yeah.
flip-flops, And we're trying to get him to sit down. And he said, oh, yeah, all right, I'll sit down. And then all of a sudden, he starts walking into this parking lot and then just takes off running.
Oh.
And I'm going after him a little bit like, dude, hey, you don't want to run. That's
Yeah.
just going to make this super, super bad for you.
Yeah.
Like with the cops. This is going to be just terrible. And so I stopped chasing, and I'm right near a white Tesla, and the woman gets out and she goes, I got it all on camera. So her Tesla car somehow filmed that
whole
over
thing.
there, that whole thing. And so I went back over, and then there was this young girl that came out from Panda Express, and I ended up giving the young guy my number, or the Panda Express girl my number for the cops if needed. And they did call me, and I did tell them. But I didn't see the accident.
Yeah.
I heard it after impact was made, and then what followed from there. And yeah, he was totally dazed when he was out of the car.
Sure.
So 100% had a concussion, and the car smelled of weed. And I think there might have been some other things going on as well. He was by himself, but that he caused his own accident.
Yeah.
For being high and being stoned.
100%.
And just jump this curb, and like what was crazy about it is if I tried to drive into it on purpose, I could not have done a better job than what he did. Do you know how crazy that is? Like, usually, like, you're going to maybe hit, a third of the right side of the front of the car because you're trying to turn away from it or something. No, this was dead fucking on, dead smack right in the center, the 50-yard line, and you hit the 50-yard line. You see what? I hope I'm making this clear. People can picture this. That it was just crazy. So, yeah, that was. And I was talking to my dad at the phone on the phone at the moment. I just called him. I'd only been talking to him a couple minutes, and I'm like, Dad, I hang on, I gotta go over. I gotta check this out because it's just crazy. People that will just leave a scene like that or won't check on them first. Yeah, I left after there was nothing else I could do, you know, and the other people stayed around and I gave my information. But yeah, that was so bad. I just
it's crazy when that shit happens because like you would think. You know, car accidents, we hear a car accident. It's not like shocking, you know, they're happening all the time. But when you actually see a car accident, you just have that natural, oh, fuck, like, holy shit. Like, that was bad. And my craziest story with that, it wasn't so much as like running into a pole accident. It was more of like a semi was driving where it wasn't supposed to be driving. And eventually got to a point where like wires and shit were like too low. Yeah, and he got the top of the truck caught on these electrical wires and was just yanking them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he obviously he stopped once he knew what the fuck happened, but I've never seen anything like that to where somebody was just yanked power lines out of the wooden pole like they're dragging. It's like you can hear the explosions, the crackling and shit. I've never seen anything like that, but when I see it when I see accidents online or I hear about them, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. But I would never give the same reaction as I did when I saw that in person.
Yeah. But running, that was like, oh, my God.
That's how you knew he was something.
That was really.
Yeah.
But even if you've done something stupid.
Running makes it worse.
That just made it way worse.
Multiplies it.
Way worse. From somebody who knows.
For sure.
Most famous car chase in the country.
As soon as you said he ran, I automatically just assumed there were drugs of some sort in the car. Like that's just I've never done that, but I've had friends who have decided to make that decision, and that's always been the reason why. They either already had something going on or they had something on them or both. And they're like, fuck it, running is somehow better.
Yeah. Not good. Not good. So
sure.
I haven't looked yet to see if anybody's posting in the Queen Creek Facebook group. Does anybody know what happened near Rittenhouse yesterday? And it was so funny because it was so late, you know. By the time I'm leaving and I'm at the light again, I see the cop, and it's like 10 minutes for him to get there. Like, they're all over there.
Yeah.
In Queen Creek. They're all over it. Dude, it takes you 10 minutes. This isn't like just a regular crash, you know,
like this is serious.
Yeah, and then a big giant like fire truck came. I could understand, you know, a smaller, more ambulance type, but a big, like it's not on fire.
You must be bored.
We were on 911. What did they tell you? Like,
glad our tax-paying money is being put to good use there.
Just so, yeah, that was my late afternoon.
Actually, you want to hear?
Yesterday,
I have a similar story to that as well. It's actually I was involved in this one, but my friend was the one that ended up getting the brunt of it. So, me and a couple of my friends, we were, you know, the thing to do back home because there wasn't else shit to do was to drive around and smoke weed. And so you either drive around or you find a spot that's secluded and you kind of just chill in the car. You know, you smoke, do it, chill, talk, whatever. We thought we were in a pretty secluded place. You know, it was through a neighborhood, but pretty secluded in just the very back corner. We found this little gravel section where you could just duck off in the woods, ducked off there, turn the car off. You know, we're doing our thing. Next thing you know, we see headlights pulling up right behind us. Cops, somebody from the neighborhood. They must know that was the spot to go to.
Spot that everybody goes to.
So like they were questioning us, like they knew what the fuck was up. They were just trying to scare us, I think. But I was the one who got away with it because I was 18 at the time, so they didn't call my parents. My friends, however, they were both 17, so they had to call the parents right in front of the cops. And like neither one of their parents believed it. They had to give the phone to the cop, and he's like, "Oh, yes, this is Officer so-and-so, blah, blah." And that's when they started taking it serious. Now, fast forward about 30 minutes after they let us go, my buddy calls me, And he's like, dude, he's like, this is a girl that we went to school with. He's like, I rear-ended Natalie, bro. And guess what? The same exact cop pulled up to that accident.
Oh.
Yeah, he comes up to my friend. He's like, "You're having a terrible day, huh?" And I thought that was like, to me, like, for my buddy. If you knew my buddy, it's kind of deserved because he's an asshole in a good way, and he's done plenty of shit to have some shit come back his way. So I see it as like karma, but like paying it forward type of karma, because he was gonna do something that was worth it later on for sure. But yeah, that was the funniest thing that I've ever happened to me like that.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into the big story. Or do we want to do the weight loss first?
It's up to you.
That is completely up to you, Troy.
Yeah. Let's do the weight loss. Let's do the weight loss first. Let's do the weight loss first. We're right here. You got it already. There has been a study. They've been tracking GLP-1 users. And so we're talking about Ozempic, the weight loss drug. And in this case, it talks about lowering addiction. Well, we already knew over a year ago, probably almost 2 years now, that kind of thing was happening, that it was helping people not only with their weight loss, it was also helping them not have a desire for alcohol, or other drugs, and, anything that can help and honestly work in that. I think you have to go through the steps. I think you have to recognize that you're an alcoholic and you're, or drug user, and that it's not working for you. But the fact that these help in that area, that's not a bad thing to me. But also, there's a bunch of information like this coming out, but there's also been a lot of information coming out. Didn't I send you some where they're talking about the regaining of the weight too, right after
Quicker.
this? Yeah. And this is a big thing.
No, fuck off.
There's
Nat
always
Geo.
some extra signing in bullshit.
Yeah, forget that.
They're trying to get you to pay.
So here's the thing that's been in the news lately this week, and some of the people that I respect and follow in this area in regards to peptides and Ozempic. I just listened to a short, about 15-minute clip that Dr. Tina had posted. So you could Dr. Tina with a Y on YouTube. She's also very good. I've told you guys that I like Dr. William Seeds, that he is like the peptide guru. And the thing that Dr. Tina talks about is the different uses for the drug, and in some cases, for some people, microdosing. And some people think that when they're just doing a smaller dose, that means that they're microdosing, and it really doesn't. And so she's tried to clear that up. But here's the thing, that if you don't, and it's something I've said from the very beginning of this is a great tool. But if you don't make a lifestyle change when you use this, it's no different than any other diet or any other weight loss thing that's ever come across or down the pike. You will gain the weight back and potentially more when you stop taking it, when you stop doing it, when you stop doing the diet plan. You will gain that fat back and maybe more. And in fact, it's a higher likelihood that you will. And the reason solely is that you're not making a lifestyle change. And I just found out, something more new about retatrutide, that of all the different GLP ones, and it's, more than just a GLP-1, but amongst all these weight loss peptides, retatrutide seems to be one of the three, out of the three, because I'm also referring to semaglutide and tirzepatide, and then we have retatrutide now. Well, the retatrutide does not go well if someone is going to continue to drink. And I'm talking about moderate drinking, not that they have a drinking problem, just moderate drinking. And I think it's a good idea if somebody wants, if they're really serious about getting healthy and getting to their goal of being at a good place for them physically and body-wise and body weight, body fat, I think it's a great idea to eliminate alcohol if at all possible. And if you're not going to eliminate it, then you might want to consider that in your decision of which one you decide to use, because doing that with, like I said, alcohol with retatrutide, it's like a no-go. It's like something you should not do. It's just like mixing of any things, some
Yeah.
things don't mix well with others, or some drugs don't interact well with others. This is one of those things, and you don't want to do that. So my thing is, I've been telling people from the very, very beginning how important a lifestyle change is, and it's got to include at least two things. It's got to include, as I was just doing a new consultation with a client on Sunday, that she walks a lot for her job, but she still is at the weight that she's at. So walking, I mean, and then she's like walking over 7 miles a day on her job.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So like walking more than that, like
Yeah.
she doesn't need that.
No.
What she needs to do is lift, do some type of resistance training. I told her I'd prefer that she would go to a gym, like a Planet Fitness at least for 30 to 40 minutes. But if she couldn't, we can design a program for her to use bands or, some other things and do some body weight exercises at home. But it's not going to be quite as effective as it would be if she was able to have access to more equipment and really seriously do this. But I think I got it through to her. Like, look, your husband's kind of a gym rat. He'd love for you to go. Dawn and I are gym rats, but here's the thing. You don't need to be a gym rat. You just don't. It's not your thing. That's fine. But sometimes as adults, we have to do things that we don't like to do. And this is one of those things. If you want to be healthy, if you want to be around for that grandchild, like I do mine, then there's certain things that you gotta do. And this is one of them. And, have a why. Have a really, really strong reason why you're doing it, because you're going to encounter times that are just hard. That's just how it works. Through the process, you're going to find something that's hard. And you got to have something that you can lean on, that you want more than the pain that you're experiencing from the hard. You'll be like, oh, that's okay. I can take that, because this hard thing, that would be even worse, because I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be here for my grandkids' graduation. I wouldn't be here for their wedding. Or if you're a dad, you wouldn't be there to be able to walk your baby girl down the aisle. Okay? And if you want to be here, and we want you to be here for your family, you really have to make these lifestyle decisions. And that's why I do the consultations that I do, and why the people that we work with are so successful, is because we do these consultations. We tell you what you should eat, right? And no, I am not a nutritionist, but somehow I've been able to learn a whole ton full of shit and been able to help to apply it to myself and have other people apply it and had great results. And if anybody wants to challenge or question me on what I know about weight loss and what it takes to do, I just point to Dawn.
Yeah.
She's kind of my...
Yeah,
She's
your
my
perfect
model.
Perfect example.
Yeah, and you don't have to be as dedicated or want to get to the level that she has. You can stop before that.
Mhm.
You don't, I mean, that's not a thing for everyone. 9% body fat is so unbelievably low for a woman. Like, it's the equivalent of 4% for a man. That's almost really, you're at that point where there's really no more to give.
Yeah.
You're really at the bottom and totally ripped to shreds. And but the processes, the things that we did, the things that we did by counting protein grams, by weighing her every day, by getting a DEXA scan, by doing all those things, we were able to get her to her goal and be in the best shape possible for her first show at 57 years old, uh, in doing that last November. And I believe if it wasn't for some hair, she would have finished first, but she finished second because she didn't move her hair out of the way in the one part, which like docked her some points. But yeah, she's literally her first time as good as anybody there as far as being ripped, being lean, and stage ready. But again, you don't have to go that far. But the principles that you use to get there are the same. And how much protein you eat, weighing yourself every day, making that lifestyle change. Dawn decided to make a lifestyle change when she moved out here to be with me. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've dated women that have drank and been with women that have drank, and it hasn't been an issue or a problem for me. And, it's great that Dawn doesn't. If she did, and in fact, she did a little bit, when we had first met. But it just wasn't that important to her anymore. And what was important to her is she had been wanting help for a while now to take some additional steps to, get it to have a certain look, to have a certain body, and get real help to do that. And I put a plan together for her, and together we executed that plan. And she had a big transformation, and so much so that it got her to the point where, people kept asking her if she competed, and she on her own decided then something that she thought she wouldn't do. She decided to compete. And so we took that lean body and made it even leaner. And she gets all the credit for that. I did some direction and put some protocols together and stuff, but all the things that I put together are absolutely meaningless for anyone if you don't implement them. But it really is lifestyle change. And it may not even seem like a lot, but just a couple of drinks on Friday and Saturday night, 2 drinks, 2 days a week. I'm telling you, the difference between getting rid of the alcohol and keeping the alcohol and doing a body transformation is huge. People worry about when taking certain types of peptides or drugs or performance enhancing drugs. They worry about their liver, they worry about their lipids. And I'm like, did you all ask yourself that question when you were downing the Budweiser? Did you ask about it then?
Did you even look at
No.
the Surgeon General's warning there?
Yeah.
I doubt
It's
they
so
did.
crazy.
Well, I think I've shared with you in the past, like, I lost like 50 pounds in a year, and that was like the most like locked in I've ever been. And I agree, like, it is like, it may not seem like a lot, but like a lifestyle change, like, it's not just working out, it's not just even just like how you eat, it's the little things that lead up to that, like the little temptations throughout the day to snack on something here or like go
Yeah.
get some ice cream or something. Like, you can't. For me, I couldn't fold at any point because once I dipped my toes back into that lifestyle, I knew I wouldn't be able to pull back. So like, even to the point where I wouldn't, like, if there's certain food commercials on, I'd change the channel or just completely turn it off. I was meal prepping and doing everything in house, so I didn't have to go out and see like, McDonald's or like an Arby's, shit that I liked, stuff that I like. After a while, I got to a point where I could see it and it wasn't a problem. But like the first 6 months, I had to consciously try not to really like, give into those temptations. And that's just food.
And that just tells you, because what you described is really sounded like an addiction.
Yeah.
It really did.
I like to eat. Like, I love
Yeah, I
eating.
do too. And that's where these can really be helpful. These peptides, these weight loss peptides, is quelling that desire or that whispering voice
Mhm.
that's tempting you to, break down your willpower.
A little bit won't hurt.
A
Like,
little,
yeah.
exactly. And these really keep people from wanting or even thinking about food. And, you have to be careful that it doesn't shut off things too much
Yeah.
where people aren't getting enough. But, that's what it takes to do it is it takes that discipline of being willing to make the lifestyle change. And it's going to be a period of time. For the client that I was mentioning that I talked to over the weekend, we were talking about a 70-pound weight loss that
It's a
she
lot.
needed to do. 70 pounds. And I told her it was going to take her, at least a year, if not more.
I'd say a couple years.
I think a little over a year if she gets
She's
right
on
to
track.
it. Yeah, it just depends. You don't know how much somebody is gonna take the advice and really implement it. And some of my people absolutely do. And you can see it on my Facebook and social media pages where I don't ask clients to for testimonies or tell people how good I am and
Mhm.
what I've done to help them. They just appreciate what I've done so much that they choose to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Well, go right ahead, Bob. Put it up there.
Well,
I don't mind.
I don't understand why you would pay somebody like to advise you on these things and like help you out with these things, but not take any of it, and put it into action. It just doesn't make sense. You're just basically just spending money to spend money, which in your case, great. If they want to spend money on you, why the hell not?
Yeah.
But if it was me, like I'm always a type where like I lock in on what they're telling me because if I'm spending money on it, it's important to me. But I guess maybe money isn't always that important to some people.
That is true. That is so true. So just be a little wary of all of these articles coming out about these weight loss peptides and the negative things that they keep trying to spew. But thank God they're putting out the opposite of that and some of the really good things and new things they're finding out about them. Which was with Ozempic, and not just the weight loss, but also lowering the risk of addiction and just really quelling that desire to use those kinds of things. And, the negatives can usually be taken care of with this. And it's usually down to dosing or having the right information, and then you acting and implementing that information, like you said. So I think that was a very important point you brought up to kind of emphasize there, Mike, is it's so important for people to, on their own, like really say, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then just go do it.
Yeah.
And we want to be here for that and help people. If you have information or questions, the best way to drop me your questions when it comes to these kinds of things is on my social medias. That would be Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, some others out there.
Yeah, we do have
It's all in the description.
All of them
by the way.
above. Yeah.
So we do have a comment from Jet. Well, a couple comments. Jet8360 saying, "Morning team. I've seen Reddit is like shrinking tumors and stuff. I don't know anything enough about Retatrutide to know. Is that something you're familiar with, like that aspect of it?"
The shrinking tumors? No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I'll look into it.
Okay.
Now.
I mean, if that is the case, that'd be great.
Yeah, it absolutely would
it'd
be.
be great.
But that's the one thing with these peptides is taken in the right dosages. It's not just acting like a drug and treating these symptoms. It's actually going to the root cause of the problem and like healing somebody's, metabolic process.
Yeah.
Like healing it.
Yeah.
Getting it right back on track. There's something that, we've destroyed because of the poor food that we allow them to sell us.
Oh yeah.
And that's just so huge.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's a big deal. But I appreciate the question.
I did pull it up on the TV if you did want to read just quickly into that.
Sure. I can read through it real fast if you guys like.
Sure.
So it says preclinical studies show that retatrutide, a triple G agonist targeting GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon receptors, can significantly shrink tumors, with studies showing up to 14-fold to 17-fold reductions in tumor volume in obesity-associated pancreatic and lung cancer models. It appears to work by reducing insulin resistance, inflammation, and reprogramming immune cells with effects that may persist even after weight gain. That's actually pretty cool.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
That's what my point is. That these are great tools, and we don't need to wait to be using these. And in fact, by using them, we get a greater pool of people to be able to look at data to see how they've been
Hmm.
doing. And what we're finding out with that data is we're finding out the other additional benefits to this. And it's way more than what anybody
Yeah, what we
first thought
expected. Hmm.
from when they originally tried.
And it kind of goes back
Way more.
to how we had a quick discussion like off stream, but about how we kind of just agree that everything that we need to live, a healthy life, a prosperous life in that regard, it's all on this earth. Whether it's in us, it's in the plants, like however the compound is, like it just feels like everything we need is right here. We don't need to manufacture something to cure us.
Exactly.
We got a couple comments
Yeah, you
here.
got a couple more?
Yeah,
Sure,
so
hit it.
good old Bob,
I was waiting for Bob.
say we love Bob. He just put discipline, all caps, 3 exclamation points. So he obviously agrees with that aspect as well. Discipline being a massive.
And I'll break that down. Like I'm one of those hardcore disciplined people that I can just and just do it. Not everybody can, but these tools definitely can help somebody and support them uh, mentally and in a way that they can have some confidence and being able to combat it and having that discipline to continue to follow through that they may not have. Everybody is different, and I certainly don't want to shit on people that are using these. I think these are very important peptides, and there are a lot of people that need to use them, and it's a good thing. This whole thing will just eat less and move more. If that worked as easily as hardcore people throw it out there, then we wouldn't have an obesity and problem or epidemic of
Mhm.
people being overweight.
Yeah.
Because we do have a problem, and this is one of those things that can help people through that problem, and so I think it's a great tool, and I'll continue to help people on this and do this, and find the right one for them, find the right peptide for them. Which one is better? They all work,
Yeah.
but some of them work better for people than others.
Yep.
Or maybe there's another factor involved why you would choose one over the other. Like I said,
Mhm.
if you do a small consumption of alcohol, not so good with the terzepatide uh, or with the
Yeah.
retatrutide,
Mm.
but maybe a little bit with the terzepatide, maybe with the semaglutide, you can get away with it. I still don't think it's smart, and that you're looking for ways to
Like a
like,
crutch almost.
yeah, to
Yeah.
do those things, because I think if you have a difficult time getting giving that up, that's where I think the issue is.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have a typical alcoholic problem like what you imagine, but
You lean on it
it's
just
different.
enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
So I actually do have a question for you.
Sure.
First, I'd like to say Jet8360. Thank you for the chat engagement. We really
Yeah.
appreciate that. One of the things he did say is, "I need me some of that Wolverine stack."
Yeah.
What is that?
That's the BPC 157 and
Okay.
TB 500 we
Is
talk
that,
about.
Oh, is that what you do, or is it different?
Yes,
stuff?
no,
Oh,
I do
okay.
that. I use the two separately, but
Okay.
at the same time. The BPC 157, when I'm using it for healing of an injury and speeding up that process, I'm injecting that every day. The TB 500, it has a different dosage, and that typically gets taken. You're going to get twice a week. You're not going to do it every day. So that's why I'm not a fan or somebody that's in favor of using these two peptides and have them blended together in the same bottle. You're just not going to get the right dose of each one. Now, if you do that and you say, well, it worked, and I'll just reply to you that it worked because you didn't really probably need the TB 500 that much, and it was the BPC 157 that fixed you up.
Yeah.
But they're phenomenal, and the I don't know how long ago that the Wolverine stack was I don't know how long ago it was like the words were used like that to describe it, but it's
Mhm.
been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Mm.
And just the crazy popularity of those two as years go by, the last 7 years for me in using those particular peptides, because there's still millions of people that are just finding out how great
Yeah.
they are right now.
I was just about to say, I was like, you've been in the game like you're probably been in this game longer than anybody that I've personally known. And just to see all of it, it's on my TV like every other commercial now. Some sort of pharmacy is advertising their version of it. And I was one of those people who really didn't know about it that much. Like I knew
Right.
what it was, but really didn't know about it, what it can do. And that's all within the span of the last year or so.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I could definitely see how like a client could trust you way more than pharmaceutical company, first of all. But the fact that like just being so in depth and like knowledgeable about it, because
This is not medical advice.
yeah,
Do not do anything
not
that
legal
I
medical
say.
advice.
All right, go ahead.
But
with
yeah,
it.
but like just like having somebody that's knowledgeable about it beyond the surface level of what you see on an advertisement, but how it's specifically going to work for you, what you need to do for you, because they don't say that in the advertisements. They basically make it seem like it's this one shot miracle drug, and you that's it. That's all you have to do. But they don't show everything, like you said, the lifestyle change and like the things you need to do to complement that. And have you recently seen what Charles Barkley has been saying about it?
Somebody let me know.
So he's actually in
Haven't
favor of it. So he's been
He's been using it.
but he's the only person I've seen that's had like a national television platform to say, yes, it works, but you have to make that lifestyle change. You have to work out. You have to do something with it. You can't just take it and expect miracles to happen.
And I think whoever told me about that also alluded to the fact that that Barkley's been skipping leg day.
Yeah, he's definitely been skipping leg day.
He's built a little different, but nothing but love for Charles Barkley. Even though I don't always agree with him politically, I definitely do appreciate and like him. He's always been one of my more favorite all-time players for sure.
He's a
him
character.
and Shaq or like the
Kenny,
NBA. That's
one of the
good
best
group
shows in general
of all sports.
Yeah, like it's
talk
such a good
shows.
show to watch.
Yeah.
Jet with another comment. He did say, "Ditched my doctor now. Only going to watch this podcast."
Ah.
Got yourself another one.
Yeah, and if you have some ideas or things that you're considering, you can always mention, and we'll talk about them in a future podcast because we have been expanding. We recently added Mott C to a part of our recommended list. Somewhat that's again one that over the last of the years become very popular and it's giving people results. And is that for everybody? Who should do it? Who not? That's a good example. And the vitamin B12, because I got to tell you, I've been doing this vitamin B12 shot that they call the skinny shot. That's got the L-carnitine and just a whole other good mix of things besides the B12 itself. And I'm definitely noticing something. By the second week, I can say by the end of I'm now just entering the third, but definitely noticing the difference in energy level and what that's been able to do for me. So there's different options, and we can talk about those and how they've helped me and how they've helped my clients and give you just real world life shit that really works and really happens.
Well, if anybody watching wanted to get a hold of you to kind of like help out with this, what's the best way to do that?
The best way,
it's everything. Everything's in the description. Just scroll into the description. There's a link tree that has all Troy socials, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's also the Outlaw Apostle that you can message through there as well, and I will go over and let Troy know. But just contact Troy directly, and you should be fine. Everything in the description.
Jet, thank you very much
I'm
for the
pretty
compliments
good
as well.
I mean, like on TikTok, for example, when people message me on TikTok, people appreciate that I actually answer them. When they engage with other people, other creators on TikTok, that they're
Just
not
left in the
getting,
dust.
they're just left out there. And the only time I would do that is if the dude is being a moron. or say
Yeah,
something just
it's
totally
not worth your
stupid. Yeah,
time.
it's like, fuck you, dude,
Which can happen a lot.
kind of thing. And it is so funny because people have opinions on my TikTok because I'm at around 500 people. But look, I had 15,000. I had on my first one before they shut it down, 4,000 on my second one. And, I just keep fighting and building back again. It is what it is. It'll
Yeah.
take the time that it takes. And I've been trying to, do what I can along with what you guys are putting together to push some more content out there.
Absolutely.
And just, things that I think will be, maybe sometimes a little motivational, but certainly information kinds of things, or just thoughts on things going on, politically. I've been posting here recently the video clips of the interview with Alante McCauley.
Oh, I did want to mention something about
Yes,
that.
please.
So for the people that are watching, so I made a mistake on the original upload. So there will be an additional upload of the interview that fixes those minor issues. And as well, following those days, I'm going to be uploading clips on the channel. So watch out for those. There's just going to be 15 minute clips of the interview.
Nice.
And as well, I am going to be uploading all the different interviews in part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. on all the different socials. Because I did realize that we can just put the entire interview split up on the socials. And so if you guys are wanting to watch those will be shortly uploaded on all the social medias as well.
Appreciate that. I do.
Appreciate the follow, Jet. We appreciate that very much. Thank you.
So, did we have anything else with that? That's pretty much, I covered it pretty much, didn't I?
I mean,
for the peptide side, yes. We have a few other things that you had sent me over. The Michigan.
Yeah, let's get into that Michigan attack. Because before he was identified, I had a certain feeling of what it was going to be and who it was going to be and what the background was going to be and what the name was going to be. And obviously the media chooses to wait as long as possible to be able to say no. It just is just crazy that people don't want to call this what it actually is, which is Islamic terrorism.
So I actually don't know exactly what. Can you give me a little bit of context to exactly what you're?
So one of the things I want you to do is go to my X page, because after this happened, I posted this. Yeah, investigators at the top there. Yeah, show that and I'll read that. So investigators aren't saying who did it yet, attack on Bloomfield, Michigan synagogue, but the method, vehicle plus rifle plus possible explosives, resembles tactics that security analysts have been seeing in multiple extremist attacks around the world. Studies show that since 2014, most terrorist vehicle ramming attacks in Western countries were carried out by jihadist-inspired attackers. You never see this done. You never see this done by, Jewish Zionist attackers. That's never a combination, is it? You never see that.
Definitely not.
And for the libtard who needs a source about what I posted above, because how can you say that? What do you know? People want to challenge on that. And I hate doing other people's homework for them. I did their homework for them. It's the evolution of vehicular attacks and prevention efforts, which is actually on West Point's EDU website. And where there was a look at all of these going back some years and seeing, what things did they have in common and who's actually perpetrating these things. And of course, what did we find out?
It was an ISIS supporter.
It was an ISIS supporter. It wasn't just two young boys, just
boys being boys,
going to New York to have a nice time, what could have been a nice time. Instead of what they just randomly pulled out, explosives that had nails and bolts and shit in it that were meant to kill.
Like that.
Yeah, just little, it's
just for funsies.
It's fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I'm kind of over it. Again, I think just pointing this out does not make me Islamophobic. I'm just not, or an Islamophobe. It just doesn't. But do I believe that the real teachings of the Quran that are compatible with Western society? I don't.
Well, we've had many we'll say test studies that have been done. Yeah, it doesn't work. Not for us, at least, unfortunately.
Yeah. So this was the first one, and what happened, Leo, is the dude takes the vehicle and goes through the building, like crashes into the building. He's actually in the halls, right? And then later, they found a gun, and they also found, some explosives.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
more details are coming out, but they waited, of course, and I understand, they waited for a minute to be able to do that, but they do the take on it from the media is just a real shitty, not realistic, not what really is going on kind of presentation.
Well, he killed somebody too. I mean, they pretty much gloss over all of that stuff.
Right.
And, we know the demographic in which they're not going to gloss over that, and that's people that look like you and I.
And every time this happens, the very first thing that is said by supposed local leaders, whether they're religious or political or whatever, is we got to be careful now. We got to be careful now because, we don't need to rile people up and having people attack Muslims. The first thing is not about the victims. It's always about protecting the Muslims.
Yeah.
Always.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just because I had somebody actually explain this to me. I don't know how true it is, but apparently when something like this happens, there is like an entire group, and I can't remember the name, and they have a website and everything, but it's a government-affiliated group in which they go to the local area in which this happens, and they basically try to de-escalate, and they'll do it through media, door-to-door talking to people, like having law enforcement like talk more than they normally would, like on a podium. And it makes sense because whenever there's something like this that happens, people like you and I, we're not out there rioting and like getting up in arms. But when it's the other way around, that's when the rioting, the looting, the damage, all of that seems to start. And the way they were connecting the dots and like the affiliation of this group, what they do, it made sense to me. It made a lot of sense to me. Now I'm not saying for sure like that's their main purpose, like to sway it, but based on history, on what we see, how we see news and media and everything used, I would not be surprised at all.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Is this it, Leo?
I looked it up. I'm not sure if this is what you're referring to, but this is what I found.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain this is it. Yeah, the social media working group established by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, shocker, provides recommendations for using social media to de-escalate emergencies. Local e-responder initiatives also monitor social media to stop online conflicts from beginning physical violence, while the Organization for Social Media Safety works on policies to curb online violence. So,
well, it just like that, the bomb throwing by those two young ISIS supporters in New York City, the white supremacists supposedly that Jake Lang, he didn't throw any bombs.
No,
he didn't get arrested and have bombs on him or have an illegal weapon on him. He didn't do that. But that's the focal point. It's almost like, oh well, he antagonized me, and that's why I did it, because he's just out there flaunting this and in my face. And
they're not talking about. It doesn't matter what he had on him, his motives, like what he was using. All that matters is that I'm telling you he is a white supremacist, and that's nothing else.
And
matters.
it's okay to do anything you want to a white supremacist.
Yeah, but regardless of what they're actually doing, like we could talk for hours about this, but it's just an ongoing thing. I don't like to play this card like, you know, everybody feel bad for us. It's just point out the hypocrisies when you see them. Like I hate to say that, but like treat everybody like, you know, we treat everyone. Everyone's equal, but like not in the eyes of, you know, geopolitical reasonings or whatever it may be. Like it's divide and conquer. Leo and I talk about it all the time. Like pretty much everything in life, the way that they can keep you down is by using your own people against you. Divide and conquer. Argue about something that doesn't actually matter while the people who are in charge are taking care of everything that's fucking us over.
And I don't know if people just forget, but all of these groups and such all have bots and bot capabilities and have the ability to take a message and spread it and get people to share it and to like end up having an influence by having over a couple million people sometimes see it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the problem.
You need to be aware of that. You know, I'm for free speech. You know, they can say what they want, and I'm going to say what I want, and when I can.
Yeah.
But it's fraud, it's corruption, it's the worst of its kind, and we need to start calling all of this for what it actually is. And these are, you know, Islamic, ISIS-related attacks. That's what it is.
The last two have been ISIS related.
Yeah.
I mean, almost like there's a trend here.
Seems that way. Now, what about Old Dominion? Do we have the Old Dominion story? So, like, it just seems things are getting worse and worse and worse. Like,
believe that was the old.
No. That was Michigan Synagogue. Old Dominion University. That's another one where they had an ISIS supporter. He went in and opened fire on the ROTC class, killed a military veteran. And I guarantee if we went outside right now and we asked how many people knew about this, I'd say less than 50% actually know about what's going on with this. And where is the outrage? Like, these people are in a class trying to serve for the U.S. military, at least train for it.
Right.
And somebody fucking walks in there, opens fire with a gun, and kills a military officer.
But do I have the right thing up here?
That's the Michigan Synagogue. Just type in Old Dominion University, and then right at the bottom, or a couple underneath your bar.
Sorry, I hit a hotkey.
You're good.
shooting.
Yes, sir. Right there. Islamic State sympathizer opens fire at Old Dominion University, killing one. And that's the common thing. It's like, why is it always them? Like, I know we just talked about, why is it always them? Like, I don't get it. Like, how can you sit here and yeah, Jed actually said I haven't heard of this at all. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Jed. Not surprised one bit. But I don't understand how this constant, was it sympathy, empathy for them? I can't remember. But either one, how can you possibly feel that for these people when they don't feel that for you? Like, when you go up in arms and you start protesting for the things that, you know, they want their rights to do here, do you think that they would protest for you for this shit? Absolutely not. Never in a million years.
Well, I thought this was interesting, partly because of the heroism of that's what I'm going to call it, of the ROTC members that didn't run away, that ran towards this action, and were able to subdue this shooter, and they killed him.
Sounds like we got the right men in there.
And they didn't do it with a gun, so I think those guys need promoted in their ROTC program or whatever they're in.
For sure. Their training's paying off well, that's for sure. I didn't even know they didn't use a gun, though. So they just straight up just grabbed the dude, and whatever was in closest range, they were just like, whatever.
Beat him in knives is what I understood.
Jeez, that is
I thought you were being sarcastic with that. I'm not even going.
No, I was not.
That's brutal, but I mean, hey, that's what you do. That's what happens. Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. We should get that on.
Yeah,
a
we
wall
need, we,
here.
we need that on
Yeah,
a
like
sign
big,
somewhere.
please. Like I love that saying, and it just fits so fucking well for everything that we talk about.
It does, but what more of a wake up call do people need?
I don't.
If this week isn't a wake up call for you,
I couldn't at this
what
point.
else do you need?
Well,
People are too worried about a draft.
The thing is, I asked the same question about New York and like how could they elect Mamdani? Like regardless of his political alignment, anything like that. I mean, it's been 25 years since, not even a full 25 years since 9/11. You would think that would be the last fucking place that would ever elect a Muslim leader, anybody that even looks like him as a leader. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that because out of fear for them. Like that's just my mindset. I'm not looking at the guy thinking, like, obviously I have my opinions on him, but I'm not looking at him and seeing the way he looks and just be like, oh, you fucking suck. You're a piece of shit. His actions do that enough. But when you're voting for somebody in a position of power like that and having the history that your city has, it literally blows my mind that they would elect him. I can't wrap it around. Maybe somebody could help me out, but I can't wrap my head around it.
It's the younger people
that don't remember, maybe.
that well, they just don't have the knowledge, as much knowledge as they think they do, and they don't. But what they really don't have is they don't have the experience. And when you don't have the experience and you just have a little bit of knowledge, you're not wise at all.
No.
Wisdom is the addition of both of these together. It's having the knowledge and being able to take action on it. That is wisdom, the life experience. That's what matters. Not having that life experience, it's true in so many different things. Now that doesn't mean that if you haven't experienced it, you can't ever have an opinion on that subject. But you just got to understand where you're coming from, and that you might want to be a little more open to information to, kind of balance things out and to get what you need to feel like you're being told or given the right information at that time then.
I think, I feel like we talked about, I don't know if it was on stream or off stream, but we've talked about, possibly having like a separate internet for the younger crowd, like something to where, it's more controlled in the sense that they're saying things that, you would expect kids to interact with and see on a daily basis, while also reinforcing those real life experiences outside, because you don't fucking learn it on your phone. You learn it from going outside and actually experiencing it yourself. And one of the big issues I have with social media is that they all follow somebody that's got millions of followers and they take their word for it. And they don't fact check it. They don't go out to see how it actually is themselves. They just see what happens on the camera and how it's edited, and then they just assume that's reality. Yeah. And that's the number one thing I think is kind of just has everybody these weird like perspectives, like almost like misinformed, but like severely misinformed, almost like delusionally misinformed.
I think we'd have to call it willful
ignorance. Willful ignorance or willful blindness. Either one. Yeah.
But it's not knowing on purpose because you don't want to know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's worse, not knowing because you don't want to, like purposely, or just not knowing because you just, you just don't know. Like you're just lackadaisical. Your mind is just wherever. You just got to keep a. I've learned growing up that as much as politics fucking suck, you have to keep some sort of tabs on it, because it's going to affect your life in one way or another. It might not be in one specific area, but it will affect you somehow, even if it's not right then and there down the road. Like there's always cause and effect. And for me, like personally, to have something like that in my life and not be informed on it a little bit, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it, but I'm just playing the game that has been set for 250 years, basically. Well, is it 250? No, July 4th will be the official 250, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so almost 250 years.
This is the 250 year.
Yeah, so it's just the game. You just got to play the game. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what certain things planned here in Phoenix. Are most cities planning their own like different kind of celebrations?
I don't know. I'm gonna be
I
honest
mean,
with
I
you.
know we have the whole White House and Dana White and the UFC, which sounds great as fuck.
Yeah, I'm locked in on that, honestly. even if they would have their own celebration, it would probably conflict with like the starting time of that. So I would be watching that, to be honest with you. Not that I don't like celebrating, but I think that's a way cooler celebration, in my opinion.
It works for me.
Yeah, I'm good with it. But when that
and that it annoys the left as much as it does, makes it even more special.
But you can have trannies showing their tits on White House grounds, no problem. That's okay. But I was gonna say, once that card gets closer, we should take a look and kind of do like our predictions for it, just to see how we do. Just predict the fights. Maybe we don't have to do the whole card.
Yeah,
just the main card of the big ones, and
sure,
we should try that out.
I don't mind that. I always like that.
Did want to mention, seems like Ron came in through and said, "Yo, Ron Harris." Old man muscle, I believe, is Ron Harris.
Ron, yeah. Now Ron's been covering some cool stuff in the bodybuilding world. I've been following his page like really hard over this past week. Well, actually going back to the Arnold, and so I've never been to the Arnold.
Really?
It seems crazy that I haven't, but I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a big deal that happened at the Arnold. Nick Walker came in second, and Martin Fitzwater, I believe, came in fourth. Well, there's a beef between the two, and I actually think it's a beef that's generated by Martin Fitzwater towards Nick Walker, not the other way around. And so, like, apparently, allegedly, we don't know, there was maybe a little shoving in the back of the backstage going on.
Probably was
at some point, and that when on the stage after the winner was announced, that Martin shook everybody's hand, but Nick Walker's, because Nick came in second. And then when it was announced who the winner was, and then obviously who the loser is, right? The second place, he went like crazy clapping that Nick didn't win. And then just very poor behavior. And this is not a first time. And so Ron has been posting questions of what people think and posting some video with that. That's very, very good. Like I said, I've been following it because I think here's the thing. It's what in real life, there are consequences.
Yeah.
You can be an idiot and behave how you want, and people can say, I don't see what's wrong with what he did, and that's fine. But there are consequences, and other companies didn't want to be associated with that. And so I don't know what his sponsorship deals were, but it seems like he's lost every one of them.
Well, that's what happens when you act like a dickhead. I don't know the backstory, but at least show some class, like on the surface there.
Exactly.
You can backstage, you could fucking throw hands all you want.
Yeah. Be competitive. Want to beat the other guy, but you got to acknowledge that the other people around you on that stage, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, some people are at 9.7, some people are at 9.2 or whatever, and whatever their dedication level was, or that to get where they had. But most people, this is very high. It's second only to the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
So people, this is one that people want to win.
They pay attention to it.
Yeah. The Arnold is huge. So yeah, you want this. You want this kind of thing. It's a niche sport. I don't know if this is gonna make more people tune in or tune out because of it. But it is in the highlight, and Ron's been covering that, and I love Ron's stuff. So appreciate Ron stopping by in the chat there and dropping a hey. Just it's something we didn't talk on the show here, and I was thinking about those on the tip, but
I got you.
Being a short week for us, doing the show on Monday there, but I've been reading and following the story on Fitzwater and Walker. I've never met Fitzwater. Walker I saw at a one of the shows fitness shows that we were at a few years ago. He's just a ginormous human being.
I'm sure.
He's just big.
Is there out of curiosity, are there rules for the Arnold in terms of like what you can use, or like basically what I'm asking is, can you use PEDs? Are you allowed to use that?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Okay,
You
I
can't
didn't
look
know.
like they use.
That's what I figured.
You can't look like that and
Yeah,
not
that's what I
use.
figured. I just didn't know, and I was.
They're all natural,
You
man.
say no, those motherfuckers are way too big to be all natural. I just assumed.
And what's crazy is people think that everybody who takes PEDs like I do, like, well, why don't you look like that, Troy? You must be using garbage. No, I'm not 27 and I don't have the genetics. And the biggest thing that ever held me back, even later in my life, from being able to get, what somebody would call more massive. Right now, I'm pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually, for me, at 5'9.5", I'm 212 pounds this morning, and that's up there. Body fat percentage, I'm between 14 and 15%. I do not want to be any higher than that. In fact, I want to be lower, but I want to be lower and keep as much of that above 200 as I can, which is not an easy thing to do. But yeah, people are like, oh, you should be even bigger. No, that's not a thing. That, like, if it was just as easy as taking the drugs, I have every one available to take. I can take any of them. It's so much more than that. But yeah, you can't get there without it. It does make a difference. But both take work. Natty takes work, like to have a great physique, Natty, and to be enhanced also takes, a lot of work. And you can determine what level, where you want to go to. That's why they have these different classes, so you can choose what level of muscularity you want, or that you like, or you want to live with. But people have a wrong idea, fans and stuff out there, of like everybody should just be massive. No. And for, for some of us, it is also about health as well. So
Yeah, absolutely.
At least for me, anyways.
Well, you stated quite a few times since I've been here, just because you can take that stuff, and even if you do work out the way you're supposed to, doesn't mean you can fucking look like that. It sometimes just comes down to your genetics. You do everything you can. You might look really good, but your goal might be a Nick Walker. Is his name Nick Walker?
Yep.
Your goal might be a Nick Walker. You might not ever be able to achieve that. It is what it is. Unless I'm wrong here.
No, I think you're right on line. You hit it. You followed along great. Yeah. That's exactly it. Exactly it. I just would like to see, some type of somebody to bring people together that are like people in the past of the sport, some legends, some heroes, bring back and almost have like a group putting together some ideas of what they can do to lift up this sport and take it to a higher level. Mm-hmm. Because it just, to me, for as long as I've been alive, I personally, at least I haven't seen much growth. The growth has been minimal. Yeah. And to, as the women have learned, right? If you want the money, you have to do what? You have to get the eyeballs. Mm-hmm. And get the television viewers. That's where the money is. Yep. And that's just not happening on the bodybuilding side.
No, it's fitness is something that's definitely like pretty much everybody, like I would say like 40 and under now, kind of, they all work. It seems like they all work out now, but it's just like the competition aspect of it. My grandmother had a friend who was a bodybuilder back in Georgia, and we went to a couple of his shows. He was fucking ripped. He never really won. I think he would get like third, second, but never won. But I've from the time that I went to that show till now, I agree with you. I don't think there's been any growth in terms of like the awareness or like of just the popularity of the competition aspect of it.
Absolutely. It's absolutely like that.
But it does have its core following to where it will never go away though. Like that's the one thing I don't think it'll ever go away. It's like you said,
those
niche,
that are there
but,
our core. It's niche, but it's very, very strong amongst those in that group of people for sure.
Which isn't the worst thing, but but you want growth of some sort.
I would think so. Yeah, it would be a smart thing.
I agree, but what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. What do we know? We're just some podcast dudes. What do we know?
We just talk about it.
We just talk shit.
What do we got here?
All right. You want to do this one? You want to do something else?
Well, what do we got?
We'll do this last one. This is actually, I pulled this from Officer Tatum's Instagram, and this is a compilation of some comments by this Tallarico. He is the one that was in the Democratic runoff for the House seat that was held by Crockett. Okay. And, Crockett is pretty far left, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever this white dude is, and maybe, with Democrats you got to remember, Democrats are racist.
Yeah.
So, and they voted for this guy when he's saying at least what she's saying, if not more, as far as being way, way the fuck out there. So go ahead and play this, and let's get a first reaction from Mike from it.
Sorry, just making sure people can see this.
Right.
There we go.
That Jesus Christ himself was a radical feminist. The American flag is such a complicated symbol for most of us. God is non-binary.
You can't call yourself a Christian and reject the stranger seeking asylum at our southern border.
Our trans community needs abortion care too. Modern science obviously recognizes that there are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
It's from Texas?
Prophetic voices like Jesus have helped me reckon with my own whiteness.
Are we losing
Our southern
Texas?
border
Fuck.
should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front. We are trying to fundamentally change the politics in this state and in this country. Yeah. No need to sit and cry over, your whiteness or your masculinity.
His legs are crossed like a fucking woman.
Did they teach you in Sunday school?
Shocker. All right.
That Jesus Christ himself
and
was a radical.
My initial reaction to that, and I'm gonna bring this up. So, do you remember back in not the Winter Olympics, but the one that happened either a year before that or 2 years? It was the one in France, in Paris, France. Do you remember how they had the recreation of the
Last Supper?
The Last Supper. They did their own recreation of the Last Supper. It was nothing but trans and gays all around the table. We have a gentleman like this trying to say God is non-binary or trans, all this fucking shit. And we had Mr. Ted Cruz, also Texas, what the fuck's going on there, talking about how saying Christ is king is anti-Semitic now. It is now anti-Semitic code. So
wasn't that the same one where like one of the actors or whatever had their balls out or something like that?
Yes, yeah. The fucking gay dude had his balls out on worldwide television while they're recreating the Last Supper. And the thing is, why is it okay to do that to Christianity? Like, I'm not even like this crazy, I'm not that religious of a person. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I just naturally, the way I grew up, I'm not that religious of a person, but I don't think it's okay that one thing applies to one group of people and it doesn't apply to the other. If the roles were reversed for
100%.
any other religion, if the roles were reversed for any other religion, people would be losing their jobs, probably their livelihood, their house, everything. They would be coming after them to no end. But yet you can attack, Christianity, Jesus, God, all you want. Yeah, it's okay. It's not a big deal. How could you ever interpret that as anything other than evil at play? Seriously, as somebody who's like I said, not crazy. Like, how could you?
Thing. It is evil, and we're calling it out as evil, as what it is.
Like, how could you not call that out as evil? Like,
there should be more of us.
Exactly. And that's the issue. There's not. And the fact that I feel a need to step up and say something when people who are much more devout than I am and have probably carry much more weight in this conversation, but they're not doing it, that might be more of an indictment on their character than anything else, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it like that, but at what point, where is your line? Where do you start to stand up for what you believe in, what you, you yourself? Where is the self-respect? And immediately, the first thing that came out with the whole Olympic thing was they were trying to play the victim card. It was, feel bad for them, feel bad for them, feel bad for them. How about all the people that are watching that mortified of what their religion is being portrayed as in front of the entire world? What about them?
And not only that, they had a bunch of while everything was going on, a bunch of children were on stage as well, right?
Yes, bro. And that's their thing. They want to go after the children. And again, how could you not interpret this as anything other than evil? They want to attack Jesus. They want to attack Christianity, God. They want to go after the children. What more describes evil than those two massive things? Like, it blows my fucking mind. And yet here we are, Here we are. Talking about it when the people that can actually make change, they're not, because it's exactly what they want. It funds their lifestyle, whether they're doing it for monetary reasons or they're evil themselves and this is what they want the world to be, whatever. But that's who controls it.
What Mike just said is follow the money.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Sum it all up, follow the money.
Follow the money.
And you will find an answer.
And hopefully you and yours are getting your money. Hopefully you get some nice big fat tax returns here coming in. Money that you can spend. I hope so that all happens and that this war ends soon.
But there's a tax strike going on.
Awesome.
A what?
There's a bunch of people on social media saying that the best way to combat the whole Iran thing is not do your taxes.
No, the best way to get the IRS at your front step is to not do your taxes.
No, they don't care as long as it's less than. If it's less than 10, for the most part, they don't really care.
Oh, they care. They just don't care as much as the person in front of you. They're making their way down the line.
That's true.
And to think Biden wanted to fucking arm those people. Insane.
All right. Check me out on my social medias. Comment. Pass this stuff along. We appreciate you. Much love. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come